Okay, today we have a special guest. We're just a couple loan officers chatting, talking about our experiences of moving from retail originating of loans over to the wholesale world, being a broker and working for NEXA Mortgage. Today, our special guest is Brian Griffin. Brian has a tremendous background and story. He came from guaranteed rate, but let Brian tell his story. Brian, what's your tell us a little bit about your loan officer experience and how long you've been doing this and that type thing.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Jeff. Um, Actually goes back 10 years. I started with BB&T, which BB&T was our preferred lender when I was broker in charge at Caldwell Banker, Chicora down in Myrtle Beach. So prior to, I was a realtor since I was a teenager. Goes back 30 years, 38 years total with my mortgage experience. But BB&T came to me and said, "Hey, we need a loan officer." And in the North Myrtle Beach area, we have four branches up there, and also includes Longs and Loris. And I said, "I don't have any idea about mortgages." They said, "We'll train you. We'll get you going and everything. It's all about customer service and knowing your product, just like real estate." So I was like, "Okay." Well, talked to my wife about it, and we said, "You know what? Let's do it. Let's try it." And I fell in love with mortgages. Was at BB&T a while, and then the loan officer I was his preferred. He was my preferred lender when I was a realtor. He came to me and said, "Hey, Guaranteed Rate wants to open up a retail mortgage company in Myrtle Beach. Let's go to Chicago and check them out." And I said, "What's the difference?" And well, retail is better than banking because we have more options and we have better pricing and blah blah. I said, "Great." So I went there and Guaranteed Rate was a great retail company, and uh, over time, for about 4 years, I was with them. I was losing a lot of deals. I had my realtor partners calling me in the Myrtle Beach area. We have a lot of condo tails. We have a lot of manufacturing on leased land. Um, and I was saying no a lot. And then, when you say no to a realtor partner and they find somebody else, you also lose that relationship as well as losing that deal, right? So I was like, there's got to be a better way. And through social media, through just the grapevine, I was hearing about the broker world, about how you have more options and how this and I saw NEXA and I found NEXA, and started doing my due diligence. I was like, man, this sounds exactly what I need because I want to give my realtor partners all the options, right? I want to give them all the options. I want to be super competitive and have all that flexibility. And so I reached out, to John, and I reached out to a couple other ones who were at Guaranteed Rate beforehand. So I went on LinkedIn and I tried to find other loan officers, and I would recommend anybody look at doing the same thing. Call me if you're a Guaranteed Rate or a retail mortgage. And I talked to them. They was like, just telling me, everything just is so wonderful. I was like, what's negative about it? They said, if you're independent, if you're a go-getter, if you're self-sufficient, right, you'll succeed in the broker world. And there wasn't much difference. It was just, again, knowing your product and customer service. Uh, and then it was on steroids with all the different products, right? So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give this a shot. So I started January 2023, the end of January 2023, and went through all the training and everything in February, and started closing some deals in March and April and May, and then started getting, I wasn't saying no to anybody, and
Right.
I reached back out to all those realtors I had in the past saying, "Hey, guess what? I'm with a new company. I can do the manufacturing and lease lands. I can do the condo tails. I can do all the things I couldn't do in the past." And faster, and the very competitive rates. We can being a wholesale mortgage broker, we have so many options. I was just telling a customer a minute ago on the phone. In fact, Jeff, I sent you an email on that guy earlier. He's shopping us against two different banks. And I was like, the banks don't give you one rate. I'm not. I can't give you set rates, but I have over 250 lenders that I can shop for you. So I can give you what my best rate is right now, but an hour later, 2 hours down the road, it might change again. You
Yeah.
know, banks and retail mortgage companies give you their rates that morning. And guess what? If the rates drop that afternoon, guess who makes more money? They do, right? They don't call you up and say, hey, guess what? The rates drop. You have their set rate. So that was the beauty that I love about the broker world. But getting into the broker world, it was a little bit of a learning curve for me at the very beginning.
Mhm.
But it was super simple. It really was. I didn't have any issues. The support is second to none. I mean, I would call you, I would call John, I would call,
Right.
customer service as
Yeah.
if I was on, UWM has the source. You have all your account executives
Right.
for each lender. And I think that, when I was thinking about the broker world, I had a little bit of a fear. Of course, everybody has a little bit of a fear making change, but once I saw all the support, oh man, it was just like a weight lifted off my shoulders, and being able to call your account executives and they help you walk through everything, and the processors and the options there are just unreal.
Yeah. So when I made my decision, it was back in May of 2021. Our company was going through another merger. Here we were going to start over with a new LOS, loan origination software. We were going to, you got to pull your database and all that stuff. And I'm like, you know what? One of my other friends had made a shift to the broker channel like a year before, and he was telling me stories it almost seemed unreal. How
Yeah,
much money he was able to make, how fast
yeah,
he closed loans. And I'm sitting there watching what he's posting online, and
yeah,
I'm like, watching from afar.
right,
And I'm like, I've got to look at this. I cannot, keep these blinders on these guys. I've been working with these guys for 10, 15 years
right.
and have made a decent living, but I felt like I was always missing something. And then I had instances where I would run into a scenario where I was competing on a loan and the guy was beating me so bad that I call my boss up. We're sitting there trying to figure out how to get the loan. He's like,
Yeah,
Jeff is probably some broker in his basement working on a loan and he has no support and no this, that, and the other. And I'm like, golly, well, why can't we have that model?
that's it. Yeah, that's what I,
Yeah,
yeah. When I was,
because
when I
I
was
don't
talking
like
to John,
losing.
yeah, I know. When I was talking to John, I think it was man, it had to be like February, March. I was like, man, I said, because he was doing some training with me. Well, actually, we were going through UWM, I believe is what we were doing.
Yeah.
I said, what did you close last year? What was your volume? And he told me the volume. And I said, well, that's about how much I did. I said, what was your comp? How much you make? He made double what I made.
Exactly.
He made double what I made. I said, man, you were lying. He's like, man, I swear I'll share it with you. I was like, well, and then as I'm going through the pricing, I see how now.
Yeah.
And you can either you work smarter, but like
Right.
with me in the springtime, I have a daughter in college that plays NCAA softball. I'm
Yeah.
on the road the whole spring.
Right.
We have a tournament coming up this weekend, a conference tournament. We got NCAA coming up. I mean, I could be in Seattle, I could be in Texas, Indiana, next weekend. Who knows until the selection show comes out. So, I want to have that option too, where I can go anywhere and work from anywhere. And I
Yeah.
think that's a lot of the fear too, is people just, oh my God, I don't know about this. But the beauty of it is you can go anywhere, work from anywhere and make more money. And that's the whole point is you can do the same volume you're doing now, and make more money, or you can crank it up a little bit and just meet all your goals. And but it's definitely working smarter. This is definitely I would recommend everyone you to at least join one of the NEXA calls, or,
Exactly. Yeah. Take the
and
blinders
just
off and
take a
just
look at it.
find out. Yeah.
Take your blinders off. And, the only thing I tell people is I wish I would have done this a long time ago.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
if you don't know,
Everybody says
so
that.
it's a
Yeah.
lot of money,
Yeah. It is a
and
lot of money.
yeah, so,
Um, I've been
but
doing a lot of these interviews, and Brian, everybody's saying the same thing. The money
yeah,
is double. Here's the thing. We have all these market forces right now that are hitting us with rates climbing, affordability,
right,
different things like that. And the cool thing about brokering is we have a way to combat all of that. We have way more products. I mean, I don't know about you, but I didn't have DSCR. I didn't have bank statement loans.
no,
I didn't have
no,
commercial. I didn't have well, we had a one-time close, but it wasn't any good. Here
right,
we're dealing with the top lenders in the entire country. Half of them service their own loans anyway. I mean, these are
right,
the people buying all the loans. We're dealing directly with them,
right.
and most of them service their own loans. So it's just a
That's it.
better, more efficient
Yeah,
process, and
yeah,
we're saving our clients money.
yeah. And one thing too, just like you mentioned, commercial. I'm working on my first commercial deal. Actually, I referred it. I'm able to refer clients to other loan officers and lenders that have that, their specialty or their forte. But I'm actually, we're able to get referral fees, right?
Right, right.
For referring. Now, when I was a guaranteed rate in BB&T, you couldn't do that. If I had a CP loan at guaranteed rate, we didn't have that product when I was there. So I had to I gave it to BB&T. In fact, I gave it to a loan officer at BB&T that ended up coming joining us at guaranteed rate. And
Yeah.
when we did have that product come to us, but the flexibility of being able to refer, having the commercial products, like you said, DSCR, bank statement, P&L loans, asset
No
loans,
ratio. Yeah.
the ratio, it's
Yeah.
unreal. And people ask me, well, how can I do that? I said, well, we don't have all the brick and mortar that these retail companies have, and the upline. You don't have all the president and CFO and CEO and COO and manager this and manager that. We don't have all that. We're not sponsoring a Major League Baseball team or
Right.
NBA basketball teams, because they're using that commission, that comp. They're using that to pay all those high expenses. And what we have here is, our company gets paid the same comp, but we're able to share that with the loan officers to help them grow their business instead of putting their brand, on a jersey, you know. Somebody,
100%.
yeah, that's it,
100%.
right? I mean, that's plain and simple. So there, the president of our company, Mike Cordes, he is he is investing in the loan officers instead of showing everybody how much money he's got by putting his name everywhere, right?
For
And all
sure.
those big sports teams and everything. And now
Yeah.
he's big enough to where if he wanted to, he could. But we
Yeah.
have, well, almost 2,400 loan officers now,
Right.
which is unbelievable, which is unbelievable. So, which is great.
Yeah. So what's interesting is, we started in 2017. Okay. We had a half a dozen loan officers, and by 2019, we had about 700 or 800. When I came on board in May of 21, we had about 1,200 loan officers. So
Right.
right now, currently today, we're at like 2,450. But I want to tell everybody that's looking at this, just know that in those beginning days, we didn't have all the stuff that we have now. Cordis is so relentless on developing a platform for us that will allow you to be a better loan officer, more power, more, you could close more, you could do more and help the clients more. But anyway, they created this system called the Loan Officer Support Platform. And what that is just a Zoom setting. Hey, we're me and you, Brian. We could jump on with a loan coach and work
Right.
out, pull up our screen. We're sitting here, make a few clicks, and we're back to originating that loan. So
Right.
that
Right.
was huge. We went from Calyx over to Lending Pad, which is a much easier system. And
Oh, yeah.
yeah, since our
Absolutely.
inception, we've had 7 comp changes, all to the better.
Right.
And we're getting ready to roll out something called NEXA 100. This is going to turn it's
Yeah.
going to turn the market on its head, but they're not going to, they're going to be like, how can they do that? You know, how can they pay 100% no fees? Well, it's because of our size. We're getting to the point now
Right.
where we have enough volume that that the lenders will give the volume bonus to Nexa, and he'll just pay us all the commission that you can make as a broker.
That's right. That's right. Like you said about LOS, loan officer support. When I first signed on, any clients that I had that I haven't, that didn't have a contract on, that transition team was phenomenal. Dan Fouts helped me out.
Mm-hmm.
Dan, if
Mm-hmm.
I had any clients during my training time and getting my licenses right and all that kind of stuff, I was able to get full comp and have that support, and Dan helped me.
Yeah.
So if a concern is, oh man, I don't, I have all this training, I'm gonna go 30 days without keying in a contract or 60 days, put that in the
Uh-uh.
trash, because you are day one you can submit a deal, and then they will give you the support, and they'll take that loan to closing and assist you, during that process.
Yeah.
um, which was huge for me. I love that,
Oh yeah. We hate transition. We hate
because I
change.
don't
So
want to be,
yeah.
I don't want to go 30 days without anything, right? So,
No.
uh, I've sat here and thought about um, all the concerns, and there's really, you know, I can't think of anything. I can't think of anything of why anybody wouldn't just listen and just, go on the YNEXA call and just give us a shot, because it's, you have nothing to lose, and and everything to gain. I always say that. But the support, the service, the comp, the growth potential, it's all there. It's all there. So
Yeah.
yeah,
That's another thing. You circling back on something that you had mentioned a second ago. If we get a call from one of our customers who, let's say they're buying a second home, I don't know, Colorado, some
that's
state we
right.
don't have, we
Yeah,
could to refer that to a loan
absolutely.
coach, make 25% of the commission, which works out to about 68 bips.
That's what I was getting paid at BB&T, about 68
That's what
bits.
I'm talking about. I mean, that
And
was the
and
eye
all I had to do
opener.
was all I had to do was answer what, 6 questions to the referring loan officer. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. They run with it. They close it. And the next thing you know, it's
it's
hitting your
smart.
payroll ledger. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
it's smart. It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just I've had, you know, my full year in here, and I've had my best 12 months. I think I've had fiscal 12 months. Just because, it's great. The only time I'm saying no is when there's a credit score under 500, you know.
That's it. That's
So
it.
yeah, those loan officers out there that are going to listen to this, yeah, we can have 500 credit score, which is great. Five to
Right.
580. There are some, guidelines there about, having some late payments,
Late payments on installment.
30-day lates last year, but there's an option, which is phenomenal. Um, I ran into something, Jeff. Couple, I guess it's been about 3 years ago. I had a client when I was a guaranteed rate call me, and a very successful gentleman, 45 years old. He retired, had about 3-4 million in the bank, and just retired, right? No income.
Yeah.
Had no income.
Right.
I couldn't help him.
I had the same thing. Yeah. I
I
had the
couldn't help
exact
him.
same thing.
I
Yeah.
couldn't help him in retail or at the bank,
Yeah.
but here we take a percentage of his assets, right? And boom, there you go. You're
Yeah.
qualified.
Yeah.
You know?
That's awesome.
And I've closed several of those last year, which have been great. And
Yeah. Was it an asset depletion that you did, or was it something?
it was an asset depletion. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got, guidelines on the asset depletion that are better than what you just, might have somewhere else. I mean, these retail places, they all have what we call overlays.
Right.
Over here, we're dealing directly with the lenders that create all these loans anyway.
That's right.
And whatever their whatever their guidelines are, that's what it is. We
Right.
don't have the overlay. Okay. So that was another big change. The other big change I saw when I was in retail, they would say, "Oh no, you can't talk to the underwriter. We got to keep our turn times." Here we
Yeah,
have an open door. I call up my underwriters all the time. Hey, I
I
want to
just
understand what you're asking for here,
I
and
just
we
talked to one
work
this
it
morning.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I just talked to one this morning.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just night and day difference. And then the other thing I had as a blinder, for being a broker that scared me was, hey, I don't want call reports. I don't want to have to do accounting. I don't want to have legal. I don't want to have to worry about all this stuff, that the retail supposedly takes care of for you.
Right.
And NEXA does that for us. So anyway, that part, once I got past that, and then, you start adding it all up and it's like the pendulum just starts swinging. It's like, wait a minute, this
Right.
broker channel is definitely growing leaps and bounds right now with market pressures and things of that nature. It's only going to get more and more. So,
Right.
um,
Right. Yeah,
anyway,
you can't beat it. I mean, I don't, I can't think of anything that you can say negative about it if you have your mind right. Correct. I mean, if you can sit there, if you can be independent and be your own boss and run your own business and be disciplined. I mean, it's a no-brainer, and and you have the support. I mean, you have the support, which is second to none.
yeah, you just hit on something else that was another appealing factor to me. I always love that entrepreneurial spirit. And I
Right.
always wanted to have my own marketing, my own company name, Lower, Faster, Better Mortgage, your Griffin Lending Group. I
That's right.
love that. If I work for a bank that, hey, it's Monarch Bank or whatever the case may be,
Right.
and everything has to go get scrutinized. So
Right.
here we have a compliance department, but hey, we put in there empowered by NEXA.
Right.
You're covered, stuff like that. And
Empowered by NEXA, and I tell people all the time, listen, I work for you. I work for the
that's
client,
true.
and I'm not. I don't work for the lender. Let me tell you that I don't
Yeah.
work for the lender. What I'm going to do is I'm going to key in your contract. I'm going to run pricing through Loan Sifter, Apollo, whatever, and I'm going to find you the best rate and the best pricing as of that minute, right? As of that minute, and that's I'm gonna let you know who that is, and we're gonna roll with it,
Yeah.
and and that's the beauty about it is we have 250 lenders that we can call upon, and to find the client, the rates, the best pricing out there,
Yeah.
and we have all the flexibility. We can act like a bank if we wanted to. We can be a bank. We can
That's
we
true.
can we can have all of our comp, in the rate, right?
That's
I
hey,
mean,
for
we can,
anybody that's a branch manager or
yeah,
a high producing LO, we just rolled out, well, it's been out a while now. We've perfected it. The
yeah,
Axon model, which makes you the lender. Okay. We're closing the
right,
loan in our name. And the comp is built into the rate. It's not even
yeah,
shown in box A. So
that's right.
um that's a game changer. All I could say is anybody that's out there, maybe you're struggling a little bit with your volume and your commission, what you're actually making on transactions. It's almost like a labor of love. Some of these files
Yeah,
you're working your tail off and you're really not making that much. I would encourage you guys to just look at the broker channel, left specifically Nexa, and our Axon model. Brian, I appreciate your time
hey
today. You're
man,
an amazing guy. Love what you're doing. You're growing leaps and bounds. And so anyway, every Thursday we do our YNAXA call. We have options for folks to we'll fly you up to the number one lender in the country and see the kind of
that's
power
it.
that's behind us.
That's right.
WM.
UWM,
Yeah.
right there. That's it.
Love those guys.
No,
I mean,
yeah,
the amount of things that they do for us on the broker side, a retail lender would never do.
no, sir.
I'm just telling you, they don't have the power. And so anyway, Nah, man, I appreciate your time, your
Yeah, man.
insights. This
Yeah,
is just a candid conversation, couple
that's it.
LOs, and we're in NEXA, and here's what we see. So
Well, I just think, Jeff, that if just, you know, sometimes the worst risk is not taking one, right? And that's it. So, and this is not a risk. You might think
exactly.
it is, but I always say, listen. I mean, talk to other loan officers that have been, with your company, just like I did. I
Hmm.
searched out and I found, three loan officers that used to be with Guaranteed Rate, and I
Yeah.
called them. I said, "Tell me about NEXA Mortgage."
Yeah.
And it was wonderful. So that gave me peace of mind. But
Yeah.
uh, but yeah, man, it's an awesome transition, and I wouldn't change it. We get phone calls every day trying to be recruited, right? I
That is
said,
true.
I'm
Yeah.
not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere.
Exactly. What I tell them is, hey, y'all, I hate to tell you this, but I'm dealing with raw rates, and I really don't want to add all the layers of expense and
No,
stuff
sir.
that
No,
that a
sir.
retail operation has. And
Right.
unless you can offer me retail, raw rates and let me control my own business, there's really
That's
not a
right.
whole lot to talk about.
That's right. There's not. I mean,
the,
it
the
just doesn't make sense.
conversation always ends up, oh well, thank you for your time.
That's right. Yeah. Well,
But
that's wonderful,
anyway,
man.
hey
All
man,
right.
well, we
Thank
got
you,
good
Jeff,
things
for
happening, and
everything.
appreciate your time. Have a great rest of your week.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you and your support. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Bye bye.
All right. Take care.